this record is actually freaking really expensive if you ever find it in the wild. It's like a $200 record.
One of my favorite movies. This and I like Staying Alive too. I think people hate on that.
This was an honorable mention though. It wasn't like a top.
You got the picture disc. That's awesome.
I love that picture disc.
First one I have is Detroit Rock City. One of my favorite comedies of all time.
The Guardians of the Galaxy. There it is.
Yeah.
This soundtrack is freaking unbelievable. Oh wait, here we go.
Nice. Empire Records.
Nice. Nice.
I don't know if anybody's seen Velvet Goldmine.
Yeah.
Oh, such a goodie.
Well, we're going to talk about Black Roses. Black Roses.
Heavy metal. This is an unbelievable soundtrack, guys.
And like I said, it kicks off with Korn, which people don't give Korn enough credit.
Whitney Houston is from where I'm from, Newark, New Jersey, born and raised. So I just have to pay homage to this. One of the best movie soundtracks ever.
Next one is Dazed and Confused.
Woo!
Pretty awesome soundtrack.
So, the Karate Kid
I like that.
is my next pick.
Pop Star, the songs on this are so funny.
JB, it's Jennifer Beals. You know what it is, right?
Woo, yeah. Boom.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
That's for Almost Famous.
This soundtrack.
Do tell.
I was listening to it on the way.
Rock
home.
on.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite horror movie of all time, and we're talking The Lost Boys.
Damn you!
Come on, Garrett. You're supposed to save that to
I
last.
mean,
Ooh.
If you guys have not seen Commitments, this is an absolutely phenomenal film.
That Thing You Do. It's got its own soundtrack, just like kind of like the Commitments, you know, where it's your own band in the movie and everything.
I enjoy Scream 3, the movie. The soundtrack is freaking killer.
Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I love like 60s, 70s, that type of music that I grew up with, still listen to now. So
There it is. Wait. James Bond right there.
Fright Night. Great soundtrack here. You got Fright Night? Oh, hell yeah. Look at that one. Fright Night, Fright Rags over there.
Wow. This is a recap for your honorable.
Recap of the entire show.
Then on vinyl, I have the Caddyshack soundtrack. I have to show the back of this vinyl. It's ridiculous.
And that's the soundtrack for Teen Wolf, which I feel is super underrated of a soundtrack.
of course I threw in my Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
I will end it with Pokemon.
Get out!
You spin me right, everybody right, round.
Don't you forget about me.
There it is. Free train. Come by. Oh yeah, what is going on, everybody? I am so pumped up. I'm just gonna bring on my guests. We are ready to talk about soundtracks. Let's bring them on. Fish, look at that. Here we go. Caprice, here we go. Mike, here we go. Nadia, and you know him, you love him. And Tony from Basement Blues. What is going on, y'all?
Hello, hello.
Welcome, welcome. Oh my God, this is so much fun. I can't believe it's been a long time since volume 1. Perhaps it's an annual thing. I don't know. But yeah, dude, I'm so glad. This is sort of inspired by Fish. He told me how much he wanted to do a little soundtrack part 2. So we are here to talk about the soundtracks that made us volume 2. And I have my eclectic guests with me right now. Say hello, everyone.
Hello,
everyone. Tap, is this thing on? Fish, tell me why you wanted to be on tonight. What do you love about soundtracks?
Oh man, soundtracks. I've always loved music in general, and soundtracks. They in some movies they fit perfectly with it and tell a story along with the movie. Some soundtracks can tell a better story than the movie. Sometimes it's surprising, but I've always loved music. I was in choir when I was a kid, so I've always been a big singer and stuff. Not so much anymore, but but I do enjoy it. But I've always loved music and movies, so the two together, soundtracks, perfect. So I just love music.
Nice. Caprice, how about you?
For me, movies and music go hand in hand. The love is the same and it'll always be the same. Ever since I was young, I've always collected movie scores and movie soundtracks. The one of them I'm actually going to pull tonight was my first one. So for me, music can make or break a movie. If it's a bad soundtrack for me, then odds are I'm going to rate the movie kind of low. So the ones that I have here tonight, I'm excited to show you guys because these ones to me made the movie.
Nice. All right, Mike.
Yeah, so music is so important to a movie. You ever try to watch a movie without music or without sound? Well, I guess those are silent films, but those are not the movies for me. You need music in a movie. It's so solid to it. I mean, you can even make a bad movie better with some really good music, because at the end of the day, you can be like, I won't watch it, but I'll just listen to the soundtrack. So yeah, you need to have good music.
Nadia?
Well, to me, sometimes music, when you think of the music from the movie, you think of watching the movie. So that's why that's kind of where I picked on my movies. If I'm watching the movie and I'm like, oh, this song's about to come on, so I'm like, yep, that's the movie I want to see. So a lot of times I discovered songs that I love and bands that I liked because of these movies. So it definitely shaped the movie and like what made you love it more. That's the word.
Yeah, I feel that. Tony?
Yeah, so to me, the soundtrack brings back the memories of the movies, even from my teenage years, which a lot of these titles tonight will be from my teenage years, because it does, it's nostalgia. It brings back the movies. It could be an animated movie. It could be a biopic. It could be anything. But that music and the soundtrack is really what makes the movie for me as far as the memories are concerned.
Yeah, I just love like when I would put them on, especially if you're buying it for maybe 1 or 2 tracks, like maybe there's a hot track that got on and you bought it for that. And then you dive into the soundtrack and like they're all really good or most are really good. And then so you played and played. That happened for me with A Star Is Born. Mika pulled that on volume 1. And I was so happy that came out because I listened to that all the time driving. Like, and I love the Bradley Cooper songs just as much as the Lady Gaga songs, right? I mean, that means they're putting together a really nice album. And sort of that also leads us to the definition for everyone watching what we mean by song soundtracks for tonight. Okay. So what is off the table is there are no scores. So you're not going to see a John Williams, score or something like that, and no musicals. So no Grease, no Annie, no anything like that. For tonight, this is strictly like song compilations. And it's okay if there's maybe a few tracks that have a score on it, but the soundtrack must be at least 51% or more music tracks to the score that's also on it. So if you guys have anything that's a little blend of both, just make sure there's at least a little bit more music time, song track wise. All right. So before we dive into it, Fish, I know you're itching, but my friend, let's see. Look who's here today. We got Caveman telling everyone to smash the like button. We're already at 20.
Caveman.
Constance saying hi. Spicy 4K. Everyone's just saying, hey, Holland, of course, and Adrian, back to back.
My
Johnny,
Johnny.
hey, cool kids. Hey, cool buddy. Film Addictions here. The lovely Tiana, always supporting everybody. Chandler, what's up, Chandler? Sean, Mizzy E.
Sean, Missy.
Look at this. We got Toxinos, 12. Toxinos, are you new? I feel like you're new. Who
That's
brought
my-
Toxinos?
That's my
Is that
boyfriend.
yours?
That's yours.
Welcome.
Does he belong to you?
Yeah.
You
That's mine.
belong to me. Tiana following the restraining order. Holland saying, hey, okay, look at that. Everybody's just saying, hey. All right, we're just going to pop. Ms. Caveman's here. I'm so glad you guys are here. Mika, our former player.
Yeah.
Toxie, Holland. Everybody's getting their haze in. Very happy. Like even Fish is here. How'd he get in there? Little fishies everywhere. Sean. All right, we're just going to pop. I'm just going to let you see your names, everybody. If I see a new name, I'll yell it out. Bye-bye. Lance, what's up, buddy? Constance, Coco Dutch, what's up?
Hey, Coco.
Always good seeing you. How's Brian doing? Oh, and well, here it is right there.
Hey, Brian.
Thanks, bud. Yeah, you were hilarious, dude. Watching that, all those things over again was so much fun. It's so fun to revisit some videos once in a while. I'm like, you know what? That turned out pretty good. So tonight's going to be just as awesome. Look at that. Here we go. Brian, my goodness, tons of people. Mama Blu-ray's here. Great intro. Thank you, Mama Blu-ray. Izzy E. All right. Guys, oh my God, so many. Baba Scott 1. Starry 2. Begins filming very soon. That's cool. Coco Dutch. That's how you pronounce that. All right, y'all. Wow, goodness. I am so excited. I just want everybody to see that we're clicking everybody here. We just want to get to it. But I'm very excited. Everybody's here. Mizzy E. Sean, Lance, what's going on, buddy? Kitten Paws, the wife is here. Hey, hon. Did not know she was here. Of course, she's not going to miss a show. Corey.
Hey, Corey.
What's up, Johnny? Wow, Caveman. What's going on? Hey, everyone. Just finished watching my new favorite home invasion film. Watch for E.T. It's extra terrifying. Oh, yes. Look, it just came out. In case you don't know, I was on Bob's Blu-rays, and he says, name the best home invasion movie. And I panicked. I went, E.T. Because the only thing that could pop into my head were the people when they were coming into his house and just invading it to get him. So, yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
They're gonna
On reflection, it is one of the best.
because of you. They're gonna change the genre of that movie.
Right? KB, buddy, good to see you.
KB.
You had a great show before this. And guys, if when you're done here, if you missed KB, he did a dynamic trio with Bob and Sue, and they did, their little must-see YouTube TV thing. Go check that out when you're done here, because it was amazing. Yeah, gosh, my goodness. I don't think I had this many pre-start questions or people coming in. Frightful Night Media says hello to everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Johnny, Sean, Constance.
These are
Here we
known
go.
as the
Another one. We got
prequels.
Sydney, the encore from A Star Is Born is so good. Too bad it was cut from the movie. Yes, it's so good. I will not be pulling that tonight because it has been pulled. And look, I told the guests it's okay if they happen to pull, but I think they all took on the challenge that they don't want to pull something that's been pulled. So we will see. All right, let's just get to the bottom here. Mama, hey, all right. And look at here, my goodness, fans of something. Let's go.
Hey, Eddie,
Eddie and
Haley.
Haley, thank y'all. Fans of something, ready for a good show. So are we, Craig. Hey, Huck, Sean. Oh my gosh, we're just playing it, Mondo. Look, y'all, I'm telling you.
Mondo.
Here it is. All right, we're just going to pin in it right there at Mondo. Whew, my gosh. All right.
How's your
Well
finger
done,
doing?
audience. Never had such a killer intro. All right, let's just get to it. Fish, my dear friend, take it away. What is your first soundtrack for tonight?
Right. Well, I have to go with my favorite soundtrack of all time first before somebody else pulls it. I have all my CDs in a CD case, so I didn't feel like digging through there. So I just went ahead and pulled my movies, and I got all my editions of Bruce here.
Yeah.
Footloose, the best soundtrack ever made. Kenny Loggins is the man from the 90s. It's got Footloose, I'm Free, Let's Hear It for the Boy by Denise Williams, Dancing in the Sheets, Almost Paradise. they did a remastered special edition that added more songs from the soundtrack, like "Bang Your Head" by Quiet Riot, "Hurt So Good," "Waiting for a Girl Like You." The Girl Gets Around, Sammy Hagar. This thing is stacked with music, and it tells a wonderful story along with the movie. So Footloose is my number one of all time.
That's a good one.
That is a good pick. Now, Tony, you had pulled. Was that something you had?
That was definitely going to be on my list. It was number one on my list, actually.
Well, there goes
Already.
your first toss. Tony has the first toss of the night.
As I was saying earlier, it brings back from 1984. So that was my teenage years. And I just love that movie and the songs. It's a soundtrack that we still listen to, me and my wife. So, yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, I was younger, but yeah, I was listening to it on the radio. MTV was huge then, so the videos were always playing. So yeah, it's wonderful.
I had a dance performance to that song, Footloose, in high school.
Did you?
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
When I was a DJ, I actually had to teach Footloose as a dance. So during a wedding once, like there were only no one would get up except 3 kids. So I'm like, come here, kids. And the 3 kids, I taught Footloose. And then the adults are finally like, oh, we could get up and have fun. That's the whole point, y'all. Let's go. Yeah, I love that one, Fish. I love Almost Paradise also. That song is such a great ballad. It's so good.
Oh, I forgot. Holding Out for a Hero. Who could forget Bonnie Tyler? Yeah.
Nice. All right, Caprice, what you got?
All right. So like I said earlier, my first album that I bought from a movie is in this list, and I'm going to pull it right now. I was 10 years old when this movie came out. I was 10 years old when the soundtrack came out, and I probably shouldn't have seen this movie when I did. But my first album that I bought was Romeo and Juliet by Baz Luhrmann. This soundtrack had everything. It had Garbage on it. It had Everclear. It had the Cardigans, Radiohead, Desiree. It had everything on it. And I have this movie on multiple different platforms, but I pulled this one tonight because this is the music edition. I bought it just for that. There's a 45-minute documentary on this movie just on the music alone. And yeah, whenever I think of soundtracks, whenever I describe my love of movie soundtracks, it's all because of this movie right here.
Very cool.
That is a great pick.
That's a fantastic pick. I love that soundtrack. So good.
I can listen to it from beginning to end without skipping a single song.
Love Fool. Does that have on that soundtrack? I can't remember. There's a part 2. It has that edition that When Doves Cry.
Yes.
Right.
There's a part 2 that's just a score. And then it does have on the actual soundtrack itself, the first soundtrack, it does have that cover of When Doves Cry. That's
beautiful.
It is. And then on the score part, it has the instrumental version. So there's volume 1 and volume 2. So this is volume 1.
That's fantastic. And Baz Luhrmann is so good at incorporating music into his movies. They're just amazing. I wonder if he'll pop up again. We shall see. Let's find out with Mega Mike. What's your first pull, sir?
All right, I got to pull out those superhero titles. So let's go with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Excellent soundtrack here. I mean, you get the debut of the Sunflower song when that first came on in the movie. I'm like, who sings this? I don't think I've heard this one before. Well, that's because it debuted in the movie. So I love that song. But you get tons of great artists in there. You get like DJ Khaled, Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj. But all the soundtrack is great, and it really makes the movie. And the sequel has a great soundtrack, too. So if you haven't seen the sequel yet, definitely check that out. But, yeah.
I'd expect nothing less than a superhero soundtrack for your first pick.
Right?
Of course.
Don't have to worry about stepping on me with those.
Me too. Yeah.
And we're not going to say any names, but there are a lot of superhero soundtracks that have come out that have had really good tracks on them. So, but we'll save that. All right, Nadia, let's hear it. Your first one.
Well, I couldn't find my DVD or Blu-ray of this movie, but I found the VHS, and this movie, it's everyone's favorite. Well, a lot of people's favorites, but no one really talks about the soundtrack for this movie, and that would be Scream from 1996.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got like
Nice.
Don't Fear the Reaper, School's Out, obviously the Trouble in Woodsboro theme song, which is called Red Right Hand, I believe. And it's just so catchy, and it goes with the theme of the vibe of this movie. And I don't know, just besides loving this movie, I love the soundtrack. So I'm not ranking it. This is not my number 1. This is my number 5. I'm going down. So this definitely made my top 5 because it's just a classic movie and classic soundtrack.
Amazing choice. That cover by "Don't Fear the Reaper" by Gus is amazing.
Yeah,
it's a very slow acoustic version. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous cover.
it is.
Oh yeah, that's a great soundtrack. I love that one too.
Mhm.
I think all the Scream soundtracks are pretty good. So,
They're pretty gnarly.
I know they talked about Scream 3 in the last one. So
I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, I got number 1. We're good.
Now, how were the soundtracks for the other Scream movies? Did they release anything equally as good as that one?
They're good. They're just not as good, obviously, because they didn't make my top 5. So
Did they reuse any of that from the first one throughout the other films?
I don't think so. No, I think they've all been different. Even
yeah,
up
they're
to,
all new music. Yeah.
even up to Scream 6, like the intro to that movie was really good. The song, they're killing it, literally.
All right, Tony, what you got, buddy?
So going back to 1986, when I was a senior in high school, another great soundtrack is Top Gun.
Nice.
We got Danger Zone, Mighty Wings, Playing with the Boys, Take My Breath Away, and this right here, another one just like Footloose. This always brings back memories from my teenage years. We still listen to this soundtrack also. It's another great one. And even with the new Top Gun Maverick, it kind of played homage to that original film with the score and stuff. So I think, it brought back a lot of memories from the first movie.
So, Tony, can I tell you, to get in the mood for tonight, here it is.
Top
Got my
Gun.
Top Gun shirt on. So I was feeling it. I had a feeling it was coming up. Good pick, man. Good
That
pick.
almost made my top 5 too.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
great.
good.
It's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
So it has now left my pile.
Right?
All right. So the first one I'm going to pull is literally a part 2 from the first one I pulled from volume 1, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy volume 2. This soundtrack, like both 1 and 2, I listened to all the time. I didn't think it could get much better than volume 1, but you got Mr. Blue Sky starting it off here. Lakeshore Drive, which I'd never heard the song before. I'd absolutely love it. Of course, The Chain, Fleetwood Mac, Southern Nights. What a great song. Brandy. Oh my God. Brandy is so good in this soundtrack. And when they use it in the film, again, like you were saying, Nadia, so it's like when you hear these certain songs, it also puts you into the movie and kind of where you remember hearing it. If they were used in that way in the film. It just, such a good soundtrack. Even with it's even got the Hasselhoff track on there. So yeah,
you
but
did me dirty, Huck.
yeah, look at you guys. Come on, Mike. I can't let you have all the superhero fun.
I should have gone with her first. I knew I should have.
Look, there you go. Since it was my first last time, it's my first this time. I just love that soundtrack. It's just wall to wall so good. So clearly you guys like that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. All right. Well, that was our round 1. So we'll just real quick bounce in here and see what's going on. My goodness, a lot of hays and howdies and subs. I got all the links down below, by the way, guys. So please visit everyone here. They're amazing people with amazing channels. So please click on them. Like if you got, while you're doing this, if you're a multitasker, click a link, click a like, get a sub, come on back, get a sub. Now I want a meatball sub. See what I did to myself? Kid says, I love the Sunflower song. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I love the songs from Spider-Verse. Look at that. Ken's here. He says, what up, y'all? Our soundtrack on, buddy. We miss you, man. Chandler saying, hey. What's up, Danger? Is a banger. What's up, Ken? Hope you're doing well. Love it. So a lot of people loving that Sunflower song all of a sudden. Scream. Got some claps from Mika there. Nadia, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that VHS. Nice pick. Mrs. Caveman says, I was in high school theater class. Our teacher had us do an exercise where we danced by ourselves on stage 2 foot loose.
Awkward.
Ah! Oh, Tony, you dropped diamonds, bro. That's hilarious.
To me, it would have been awkward. It would have made everybody else uncomfortable that had to watch it too.
Right. And because, you know, when you get up there, like everyone's doing it together, but when you start doing it, they'll stop just to watch you.
Right.
Make it even worse. Saying, hey, highway to the danger zone. Go, everybody. No, okay. Yeah,
Let's take a ride into the danger zone.
There you go, fish. Nice.
I got you.
You ain't gonna leave me hanging. See, once you guys loosen up a little bit, we're gonna start singing tracks, and it's gonna be a hot mess, but it's gonna be beautiful. Wait, you haven't seen Top Gun Maverick yet? What are you waiting on? Now, is that the same thing for your twinsy? If you've both not seen it, you should sit down and watch it together. It's fabulous. Screen 6 has a banger soundtrack. Okay, I did not know that.
It does.
All right, gotta watch it. All right.
But it's
Well, grooving along here. You feeling it, Fish? Are you feeling it? Are you feeling?
Yeah, I am.
You ready for a little
okay, so
round 2? Take it away.
All right. Well, this one I'm actually torn because this one comes with 2 volumes on this one. The soundtrack is pretty extensive. I'm not sure which one I want to pick because they both have iconic songs, but Dirty Dancing. I love this movie. Yeah. Has volume 1 and volume 2. I guess I'll go volume 2. More Dirty Dancing. So it's got Cry to Me, Do You Love Me by the Contours. Do you love me? Yeah, some kind of wonderful. Yeah, exactly. Love, man. These Arms of Mine by Otis Redding. Oh man, Will You Love Me Tomorrow? It's got Wipeout. Oh, Big Girls Don't Cry. And it even, volume 2, More Dirty Dancing, has the Kellerman's anthem at the end of the movie. Kellerman's. So Dirty Dancing, volume 2, More Dirty Dancing is my pick for my number 2. This movie is fantastic. I grew up with this music. My grandparents raised me, so little older generation music hits with me a little more. So yeah, Dirty Dancing, fantastic movie and music.
And look at you pulling the volume 2 on that. You know, that's the thing is also when a soundtrack really does so well, and they have this, huge list of songs they didn't use, and you get to see a second one. There's something super exciting about that, right? Have you guys ever had a favorite and then there was a part 2 and you're like, like that happened to me with The Commitments. There was like a bonus volume 2 that came out for that movie, so I picked that up. Nicely done, Fish.
Oh yeah, this one had so much music. Because I mean, the first one, I've had the time of my life. She's like the wind, stuff like that. But but that volume 2 is more 60s oriented, so I love that one a little more. But yeah.
For the longest time, I didn't know that was Patrick Swayze singing that song for the longest time. And then I think my mom had to educate me one day. And she was like, "You know who that is, right?" And I was like, "No." "Oh, who is it?" And she went, and I was like, "Oh my God." And she has an undying love for Patrick Swayze. So I felt like I should have known that, but I didn't.
Right. I didn't know that till right now.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that either.
Are you thinking, is there anything that Patrick Swayze can't do?
Right.
He can sing, he can
dance, sing.
He can fight. He can rip people's throats out in Roadhouse. Right. The guy's like a triple threat. He can do it while singing "She's Like the Wind" through the trees, right? I'd pay money to see that movie.
He's got it.
I've changed everyone's opinion of that movie. All right, here we go. Caprice, what you got?
Okay, so my next pick is actually American Psycho.
Ooh,
nice.
This soundtrack is so fire, dude. I love in the movie how Patrick Bateman he loves music. Throughout the entire movie, he's just talking about his love of music. He's listening to music. The story is told through his taste in music, and I love that. This soundtrack to me just screams 80s. It's got New Order, Genesis, Phil Collins, David Bowie. And it also has a really amazing club mix of The Cure on here. What's the name of the song? Watch Me Fall. It's got a great mix on it. And so I actually really love the soundtrack to this movie, and I feel like it helped make it better. But I love that it was a big part of the movie too. So yes, American Psycho is an underrated soundtrack.
That's on my watch list. Haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, great one. I haven't watched it in years. I need to give it a rewatch, but yeah.
What? Please watch it.
That's on my list.
Watch it.
That movie's intense. What's fun? Have you guys seen the humorous spinoff that uses Weird Al and Huey Lewis in the two roles? So Nadia, you have to watch that first. Watch, American Psycho first, and then look up the Weird Al Huey Lewis parody.
I love Weird Al, so that's perfect.
You'll appreciate it. All right, Mega Mike.
Yes. So my next choice here, it's not just a good choice; it's a great choice. Okay, you got to have that Free Guy action. All right.
Oh yeah.
So the soundtrack is amazing from start to finish in this movie. I mean, you got Mariah Carey with Fantasy. You got A.G. Legends. You got Logic. 100 Miles and Running. Case Elliott, Make Your Own Kind of Music, and Frankie Valli, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. So amazing music. I love the music. It's perfect. And yeah, this movie just makes me want to have some bubblegum ice cream. So you can't get better than that.
Oh my gosh.
That was such a great movie too. That's the first movie we saw after the pandemic that got us back into the theater was Free Guy. And it couldn't have been any better. It was so
it's perfect.
funny and entertaining. Movie. And yeah, it was note for note, just a pitch perfect film. I was just like, oh my God, that was so good.
Yeah, it has everything. It has action, it has comedy, it has music, it has good stories, themes, messages, everything. I'm sure everybody's seen that one, right?
What's that?
So, video games? Yeah, you got it all in there. So much
got a
fun.
lot of random YouTubers too, right?
Yeah, that was very funny.
Yeah.
You get Taika Waititi in there. I mean, you can't beat
Taika's great.
She's so funny.
All right, Nadia, round two. What you got?
So my round two is one of my top 10 movies of all time. But for soundtrack, it's going to be my number 4, and it's going to be The Faculty. It has such good vibes, good music with it. It's got Pink Floyd, Another Brick on the Wall, the We Don't Need No Education. Like they picked a school song for a school setting, and then it's got 18 by Creed. Such a good cover for that song, and it's just, I love it. I look forward to the soundtrack when I watch this movie.
Oh, it's a great one. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Oh, good pick. Good pick.
Thank you.
Now, I haven't asked this really because it just popped in my head. So starting with Nadia, what would be your go-to track on there? I know it's hard to pick, but if you had to just flip it over real quick and go, right now, that one.
For The Faculty? Probably Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
It goes so well with that movie.
Have you seen Pink Floyd The Wall?
I have.
Yeah. That movie always creeped me out.
It's weird. Yeah.
Something about the weird, the music with the animation. It was really disturbing. Everybody I knew that smoked weed said it was the best movie they'd ever seen. So it was why I didn't get it. All right. Speaking of weed, Tony, take it away.
2, we are going to go with Romeo and Michelle's High School.
Oh, yes.
Great choice.
Yeah.
All right.
Got Culture Club with Karma Chameleon in it. Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Belinda Carlisle with Heaven is a Place on Earth. The Go-Go's, we got The Beat. So just a lot of good songs. There's others, but those are the ones that really stand out for me. And I guess my go-to song on this one would probably be the Tears for Fears song, Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Yeah.
Yep. So Fish.
I'm a chameleon's a bee, isn't it?
Yeah. Culture Club. Yeah, I really enjoyed Culture Club back in the 80s.
Oh yeah. You got me back for Footloose there, Tony.
Yes.
So I'm just going to go out on a limb. So who do you think probably dressed up as Boy George, Tony or Fish? If one of them wanted to, who do you think? I'm thinking Tony, right?
Me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You know, you get the big rimmed hat on, you know. The black
100%.
Yeah. It's the eyeliner and the lipstick.
Right? It'd be a great Halloween because no one would know it's you. You could walk around totally like no one would know.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one I'm going to pick, it's an unusual pick. It's again, so you guys, did you do what I did? You just have like stacks and stacks of movies and CDs. You just couldn't wrap your head around it. So some of them I had to just sort of look at the song tracks again and figure out which ones did I listen to a lot and what had like this collection that really did it for me. So this next one here is Beverly Hills Ninja.
Wow.
Nice.
Talk about it's a little bit more, and it's not any particular decade, but I mean, listen to this. You got your Kung Fu Fighting, right? Everybody was Kung Fu Fighting. You got One Way or Another by Blondie. Lowrider. I mean, you know, come on with that.
Heck yeah.
And then Tarzan Boy. Turning Japanese. I'm Too Sexy. I mean, it was just like this. I just couldn't believe like that many good songs was on this soundtrack. Like, it's a very fun movie. Like, Farley's great. Here's another movie that Tony's doesn't have a Blu-ray, right? This is another one of those.
I don't have it.
It's like a crime it doesn't have one.
Yeah.
And it's just, he was really funny in this. It was such a fun movie and just a terrific soundtrack. And I would just pop it in the CD player in the car and just like all the time. Like, this is our good soundtrack. So this is almost where I would say I probably like the soundtrack even more than the movie. Yeah. And the movie was cute and funny, but soundtrack had all the things like Tony, you and I from the same generation. A lot of these songs just really like clicked. So yeah.
That just reminds me of the George Lopez theme song. Good show.
What was the George Lopez theme song? Was it
the
that?
Lowrider?
Was it Lowrider?
Yeah.
Lowrider goes a little higher.
Take it away, Mike. So I like how you guys sort of get going and then just bail out real quick. Look, I'm telling you, we all got your back if you guys are feeling a song, you know. Fish and I will be like, oh, well, come on. We're just like,
oh, yeah.
Look at the top row. We're all swaying up here at the top. We got to get the bottom row swaying a little bit. All right. Let's check in. Some people we're digging a lot. Tony had to get rid of one. Yeah, he did. Love That Hungry Eyes. West Side Story. No one puts Baby in the corner. American Psycho. Digging that. Caprice. It's so fire, dude.
It's fire, dude. Inner Californian just came out.
Are they up to shenanigans in here, Caveman? They were doing that on the previous stream. Those two. You know, young love. All right, here we go. All right, bye. Whoop, whoop. All right, I don't know what's going on there. So, Coyote Ugly is another underrated soundtrack. There you go. All right, let's put a pin in that. You never know what is coming up. So, all right, there you go. Now it is time for round 3. Fish, are you prepared to keep?
I am,
right.
Sam. I am.
All right, let's see what you got.
Well, I already talked about my grandparents raising me. So they were children of the 50s. So that had a lot of influence on what I listened to. So when this movie came out and the soundtrack came out with it, Pleasantville has a lot of great 50s jams on here. It's got Lottie Miss Claudie, 60 Minute Man, At Last. Probably these are a little more closer. Rave On, Teddy Bear by Elvis, Bebop-A-Lula. It has a couple tracks by Fiona Apple. She did it Across the Universe. And oh gosh, what's the other one? I can't remember. What's the other one? Oh my gosh, I can't remember the other one. But she did a great cover of Across the Universe for this as well. So, but yeah, probably closer to 50s, 60s music on here. But man, Pleasantville, fantastic movie. Did I take another one, Tony?
For three.
Was that one?
Me and Fish can't be on the same stream anymore.
Didn't you guys call
But
ahead
yeah,
of time?
see, Tony knows. Tony knows. He gets it. Pleasantville is a fantastic movie, wonderful soundtrack as well. Yeah.
You guys are in sync. And Tony, weren't you saying earlier you're pretty sure you have a bunch of stuff no one else is going to pull?
The rest of these, I don't think.
Oh, Fish ain't done yet. You just wait. Oh, that's funny. All right, Fish, favorite song off that album?
Oh, off this album? It has to be At Last, Etta James.
Oh, yeah,
man,
so good.
classic, fantastic. Oh, she kills it every time. I love that song.
And I forgot to mention I think I would do Kung Fu Fighting on this one. Yeah, robot, I was Kung Fu Fighting. It's just such a hilarious song. They even got like the chopped sake sounds like, hurrah, hurrah, like in the song.
Fast as lightning.
Like,
yeah.
what's not to love there? All right, Caprice, let's go.
All right. My next pick, I knew somebody was gonna pick Scream. It's also one of my favorites too, but I knew someone was gonna pull it. So I felt it. There was a disturbance in the forest, and I had to pick something else. So I decided to show some love to "I Know What You Did Last Summer."
Oh, yes. There you go.
So this soundtrack is not talked about enough at all. This soundtrack had Kula Shaker on it. It had Typo Negative, Offspring. It had Our Lady Peace on there. It had Korn. It had a little bit of everything. And it fit the movie very, very well. And there's also another song on there from the band that was actually playing in the movie. I'm forgetting the name of the band at the moment. So let me they're called Southern Culture on the Skids. And
My Baby's Got the Strings.
Yes. I think that song within itself is just the epitome of that movie. But yes, this is one of the ones that needs more love. So I love this soundtrack. So I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Caprice,
Nice
you said
pick.
it had
All right.
corn.
Yes.
It had corn. Okay, I heard that as porn, and I was like, "What version of that movie did you get?"
Man, why wasn't it number one?
Yeah.
Kudos for that
Favorite
soundtrack. That is a fantastic soundtrack. Hooverphonic, Two Wiki. I love that song. That's such a good one. Yeah.
Favorite song, Caprice, off that. Favorite
Kula
song.
Shaker Hush. I love that song. I know it's been in so many movies, but when I hear that song, this is the only movie that so that's it. I'm like, that song was made for that movie regardless. Like,
right? That's it. It's beautiful song placement that ties it distinctly to that film for you. That's what I love about this. That's what I love about songs and scores and all that stuff. Mega Mike, what you got? Part 3.
Yeah, so to show the comedy some more love, you got to go with American Pie. Amazing 90s punk rock music. Would always listen to this as a teenager. You get tons of great bands on there. You got Blink-182, Bare Naked Ladies, Harvey Danger. You got a lot of great Sum 41 stuff. So like In Too Deep, one of my favorites. So can't go wrong with that.
Great.
All right. Well, now
That
pull
is
that
a great
up, Mike. We got to
That
know
is a fantastic soundtrack.
what's your favorite track off of that, Mike?
Probably go Sum 41 Hell Song.
And why that one? Why does that one get the?
Because that's what I rocked out to as a teenager, you know. That's you just rock out to that at the parties, you know.
He's not.
That was your thing. You come strolling in, little jam box on your shoulder.
Exactly.
Doing your thing. All right, Nadia.
Well, mine, I actually do have the CD for this one, but I can't find it. So I actually just picked this up yesterday, and it's going to be Freaky Friday. It has Ultimate, sang by Lindsay Lohan, according to Google. I'm not sure about that. Happy Together, What I Like About You, Baby One More Time. There's so much more. And it's just, I love the soundtrack that goes with this. Again, they nailed it for this movie. And it's the movie's funny. The movie's hilarious. And the soundtrack just makes it so much better. So yeah, Freaky Friday.
You know, that would make sense though that it is Lindsay, because Lindsay was singing for a while. She had songs.
Oh, was she?
Yeah. She had some
Had an
singles
album.
that were released. Yeah. So, you know, those young stars, they want to branch out and get some scratch anywhere they can.
Oh yeah,
Not
Rumors.
in that
Was that,
song.
was that the name of the album? Rumors. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
Rumors
Nice,
starting.
Fish.
Talking. Yep, yep.
All right.
Dang, I'm
Nadia,
learning everything today.
favorite song from that? Which favorite song?
Definitely Happy Together.
Yeah.
I love that cover. I love that song.
That's awesome. It's so fun. All right, Tony, what you got?
Okay, so this one is from the 90s, and it is for She's Having a Baby.
Oh.
They had a great. This is another one of the soundtracks that we bought. My wife and I love these songs. It's got She's Having a Baby. It's got Haunted. It's got Happy Families, Crazy Love, Apron Strings, and The Woman's Work. So lots of really good songs that people's probably never even heard of. But, you know, whenever I think about this movie, I think about the soundtrack. And I think it also has something to do with probably the emotions of the film. It's a John Hughes film. And, you know, when this came out, I was newly married and we were having a baby. So that probably had to do with it also. So,
And what's your favorite one?
probably Woman's Work. That's
Nice.
the emotional one, yeah.
Oh yeah. Were you and I talking about the Maxwell cover of that? Did you ever check that out?
I did. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Kate Bush, every time I hear that song, it takes me back to that scene in that movie, and it just
So Kevin Bacon, if you've never seen She's Having a Baby, I would highly recommend it. It's really good.
That's amazing.
I really want to
agree.
get that set that you have, Tony, because I don't have that or Some Kind of Wonderful, and I would get it just for
Some Kind
those
of
two
Wonderful is
songs.
another great one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I have all the other ones, but yeah, but that's amazing. So this next one I have, it's really weird, y'all, because sometimes like a soundtrack comes along and somebody really vies for wanting to do the soundtrack. So this next one, well, he was a fan of the first movie and said, okay, when the second one comes out, I want to do the soundtrack because they wanted to use one of his songs in the soundtrack because it sounded like a Western. See if you know where I'm going. It sounded like a Western song. But he's like, you know what? I don't want you to use that song. Let me give you an entirely fresh, new soundtrack, and I'll do the whole thing. Fish knows where I'm going. And
I
that
think
is
I do.
Young Guns 2 by Bon Jovi. And I mean, like, this is just one of those, because I was a big Bon Jovi fan in the 80s, that, you know, the whole song, it almost tells the story of the movie. And it's got songs called Billy Get Your Gun. Of course, Miracle and Blaze of Glory were both released as singles, and they were huge chart toppers. Blood Money, Santa Fe, Justice in the Barrel, Never Say Die, Bang a Drum. It's just, and all the things, basically, there's even one like called Patty Garrett. You know, it's a song about Pat Garrett. And even that one was good. And this is one of those type of soundtracks that's almost like a story as you listen to all of them. So for me, this was just a must-have. Fish is nodding. So, I mean, I probably have to go. I mean, Miracle and Blaze of Glory are pretty equal for me, but probably Blaze of Glory. I'm going down in a blaze of glory. Take me down. There's a whole the truth. All right. So yeah, Bon Jovi, baby. There you go.
Love Bon Jovi.
Fantastic. Oh yeah, always love Bon Jovi.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you were nodding. I'm like, okay, here comes the tumbleweeds and the crickets when Huck brings this one up. They'll be like, no, not that one.
Well, you were like, has that kind of Western. He loved the first one. He wanted to do the second one. I was like, I think I know where this is going. I think, I was like,
it's good when the soundtrack actually follows the film. So you can actually just listen to the soundtrack and you can probably recall what happened throughout the movie.
Yeah, and it's the type too. Like these weren't really in the film.
Right.
Like you're not going to have the song Patty Garrett while Pat Garrett's on the screen because that feels weird. Right. But of course, I think it was used in the end credits like Blaze of Glory and Miracle. And then all the other ones were just kind of like these great bonus Bon Jovi tracks. So I dug it. All right, y'all, let's dive in. Let's see what else we got here. What's up? Dell's here.
Hey, Dell.
It's a pretty good soundtrack. Not sure. Sometimes everybody's just loving soundtracks. Dell. We're just going to see if anybody has anything specific. I'm putting my bid on volume 3. Yeah. Look at that, Dill. He's in. All right, bud. All right. See, this is why. Okay, I'll save. There's something I'm saving to the end, but I'm gonna wait. All right. So people are having like suggestions here. So all right, let's put a pin in this one. Thank you. Thank you. Fish, you feeling good, man?
I am. I'm excited about this one. This is one of my favorites.
Here we go. Let me give it to you. Soundtracks that minutes. Round 4. Take it away. Fish.
In this corner.
Give everything a big intro.
All right. Well, this one, I adore this movie. I watch it constantly, at least once a year. Me and my sister will have a few drinks and get a little buzz going on and put this on and act it out. But the music is fantastic, and we are acting out Beaches. I'll be Cece one night. She'll be Hillary. We'll flip-flop it on the next time we hang out. But this soundtrack is fantastic. You've got great tracks like Auto Titsling, Oh Industry. I don't count this as a musical because they're not breaking out into song. It comes along with the music. Under the Boardwalk, Glory of Love, and the penultimate, Wind Beneath My Wings. Yeah. All sang by Miss Bette Midler here. Wonderful, wonderful soundtrack. Fantastic movie. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I also have that soundtrack. That's another one of the soundtracks we listen to.
That's a great soundtrack. That's a great one. They said you dressed up?
No. We would just act it out. We'd sit there and just, sit there and float it and stuff. And
she didn't dress up. I can see a little Bette Midler in you.
I can see it.
Come on. You don't have to be shy here.
Okay, Fish.
No.
All right. I guess your favorite from that is Wind Beneath My Wings, or is
actually no. I Auto Titsling. Auto Titsling, Inventor and Kraut, and nothing to get very worked up about. Yes.
Yeah, you dressed up. All right, good. Here we go. Caprice.
All I can see now is this Fish dressed up like Bette Midler.
Right?
Right next to Tony dressed up as Boy George.
Oh my God. All right, Tony, Photoshop that tomorrow. We got to see it. By the end of this, we all have to be somebody else. So Nadia, Mike, all right, let's figure out what we're, I guess I'm going to movie. Some good hair going.
My fourth pick is Orange County. This soundtrack, it just screams Southern California vibes to me. It has Foo Fighters on it, The Offspring, it's got Lit, Phantom Planet, Social Distortion, all the bands that you hear down in Southern California on the boardwalk when you're going to go watch the surfers. It also has that song by Crazy Town that took over the airwaves in 2002, the Butterfly song. So whenever I hear that song, instantly think about the party scene from this movie where all the drunk surfer girls start dancing in the front room. But yeah, this soundtrack is not talked about enough, let alone the movie itself isn't talked about. It's one of my guilty pleasures. But yes, I love this movie. And if I was to pick a favorite off of this soundtrack, it would probably be Foo Fighters, The One. They actually wrote that specifically for this movie, and it's just it's the epitome of Jack Black. So I love that. So yes, Orange County.
Nice.
That has a Blu-ray release too.
I know. I haven't grabbed it yet though. I've had that for the longest time, but yeah, I did see the Blu-ray upgrade to it, so I'm working on it.
Yeah, that Butterfly by Crazy Town, that came out when I was working in a music store. So that was on the radio all the time, constantly. So I remember that song.
You couldn't escape it. It was on TV. It was on the radio. Your friend had downloaded it on their iPod, the iPod thing. They had them all.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't escape it. Even if you wanted to, it was like a wart on the airwaves, and it literally played itself out so bad that I haven't heard that song in almost 20 years because I think everybody just played it out so bad when it came out that they're just over it.
That is one downside of having great soundtracks that you love, is that if something is just played to death, hopefully it doesn't tarnish the rest of the soundtrack, but maybe just that one you like skip over. once in a while.
Just the one. The rest of the soundtrack is great.
I've only heard of Orange County twice in my life. One of them being Right Now. So I gotta.
I've actually never seen that.
Oh, it's really good. It's funny.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
Jack
It's a
Black,
comedy?
Colin Hanks.
Yeah, if you like Jack Black, you'll love it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'll check it out.
All right, Mike, what you got?
All right, so a soundtrack that is definitely better than the movie is going to be for Suicide Squad. Yeah. But I mean, you got so many great tracks on here. Why are people laughing? Stop laughing. House of the Rising Sun, You Don't Own Me, Sucker for Pain, Heathens. But then my favorite, of course, Bohemian Rhapsody. Of course, you got to call out that one. But yes. Okay, now everybody explain. Why are you laughing? That's a great soundtrack.
Well, no, just because you said in this instance the soundtrack's better than the movie, I was like, yeah, you're not wrong.
I think, yeah.
And
That's a great pick.
Because right when you said it, I was like, oh, he's gonna pull Suicide Squad. Like I knew what you were gonna pull right when you said that.
It's so good. That soundtrack's amazing. I was listening to it all day. All of it's great too. All the songs they chose. It's like that was the main focus for the movie, was choosing the songs first. Then it's like we'll come up with a story later. We'll try to make something work.
We'll build around it.
Now that brings up a good topic, Mike. So how do you, if a movie isn't that great, how do you find the soundtrack, right? Like usually something is really good, like Guardians of the Galaxy. So you see it, and you know there's a great soundtrack. So if something is not so great, and it's not really in the ethernet, the atmosphere, the zeitgeist, all that stuff, like what drew you to that soundtrack? Were you just curious? Did you hear an end credit song and like, oh, I like that one song, let me go see?
Well, I watched the movie in theaters. I'm sure I watch everything, so
right.
You're gonna get bad movies in there. Of course, you'll get
That's
the
true.
occasional like Skinamarink and stuff. But
Oh,
I mean,
your favorite.
You see the movie and you hear the amazing music, and you just want to listen to the music over and over again. So, I mean, it was a standout, and especially if the movie's not as good as you're expecting, you try to find something else in your experience. So you focus more so on the music if the music is there, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. I was just curious what draws, people to things that aren't as popular. And then there you go. So you've now got a soundtrack you love.
Well, yeah, music will help a bad movie for sure. It's like putting like gravy on something. It'll make it better for sure.
Oh, gravy.
Or wrapping it in bacon.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And dip that in gravy. Mike, what was your favorite song on that?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
It was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, it was so good.
Fantastic.
Mine would be Heathens.
Oh, Heathens.
Yes.
Good.
Is that, yeah.
21 Pilots. Yeah, that's great.
So for my number 4 would be a horror movie, Bride of Chucky.
Oh, nice.
It's got the 2 most iconic songs, Living Dead Girl by Rob Zombie, Call Me by Blondie. Just such perfect songs for such a perfect movie. One of my favorite movies. Just
Call Me is the good one.
love it. Yeah. It's so good.
Another underrated.
It started my love for Rob Zombie, so kind of depends.
Then you saw the new Halloween movies, and
I like the first Halloween movie, not the second one.
I love that though. That's a very inspired choice. Chucky, which one was it? Chucky, Bride of Chucky?
Bride of Chucky.
Bride of Chucky, right.
Mm-hmm.
See, and I love it. As soon as you said that, Caprice is like, oh yeah.
Oh,
like, banging, nailed it.
It's true.
You like that soundtrack too?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Who doesn't?
Jack.
I still need to watch the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't seen anything past 3. Yeah, I'm tried true trilogy 1, 2, 3. I haven't seen anything past.
It's a great movie that is not meant to be taken seriously, but it's a fun one. I'll put it that way.
I want to watch it. I love Jennifer Tilly, and I just need to watch it for her. Period, because she's
You're gonna love Seed of Chucky then.
Okay.
Oh god, no.
Seed of
I cannot
Chucky.
do Seed of Chucky.
Yeah.
Is he though? Is he? I hear stuff about Seed of Chucky.
I love it. People hate it.
It's rough.
That's the word for it.
Tony.
Okay, for this selection, it's going to be a biopic because I do love a good biopic, and if the biopic is about a singer, it makes it even better. So I choose.
Oh my
Selena.
God.
Nice.
Yes.
Selena.
Which one?
Fantastic.
All hail.
And there's just a few songs that I'm really familiar with as far as these are concerned. But Dreaming of You is a good one. I Could Fall in Love is probably the favorite. I Could Fall in Love. And then anybody that watched was it a Netflix miniseries about Selena? Did
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I watched most of it.
Yeah, it was really good. And it's got what is the name of that one? You know, I'm blind as a bat.
Come on, get that magnifying glass out, Tony. You're in safe
No
place.
judgment here, Tony.
No.
Bitty Bitty Bom Bom. Bitty Bitty Bom Bom.
Bitty bitty bum bum.
Yes.
Bitty bum bum.
Yep. So Selena, that would definitely be a good one. So like I said, I love a good biopic, and this is a great one.
We have a lot of people talking about Goonies. Anybody get the Goonies soundtrack with the Cyndi Lauper track? Although, what else do you remember? I don't remember anything else other than
That was the only track on there.
Cyndi track. Yeah.
The rest of it was just a score, but it
Right.
did have Cyndi
See?
Lauper.
Yeah, and that's what we keep it off the list because if you just have one hit, it's sort of like a James Bond soundtrack. The individual ones don't count because it's just the song, and then the rest of it's all score. Whereas, like on Volume 1, the one I pulled was the compilation of all the James Bond songs. So that works because it's just all the intro songs.
And I love all those James Bond intro songs are the best.
They're so good.
Yeah.
All right, what's everybody's favorite James Bond song? I'll go with
Skyfall.
For Your
A
Eyes
View, a View to a Kill.
Nice.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
That 80s kid.
The famous one.
Sheena Easton doing For Your Eyes Only.
I love For Your Eyes Only. That is my. That's
I
almost.
love Sheena Easton too. Man,
She's great.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Nadia, do you have a James Bond theme song?
The intro.
The intro. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice cover.
Yeah,
the
that
thing
one.
at the front, the top one, where he turns and shoots the gun in the barrel. It's my favorite.
I haven't seen James Bond.
I know. I can't tell as you were like, "Oh, look, my desk is kind of dusty." Like I lost her on James Bond.
Yeah,
that's all good.
Now I haven't seen a whole lot of James Bond. That's something that I need to work on from Mike Stream that one time we did.
Yeah.
But I've heard the music, so I've heard every like Die Another Day, or View to a Kill, or For Your Eyes Only.
Many good ones. So many good ones.
But I'm missing out on the movies. I know the music.
Yeah, Tony, growing up, like that Sheena Easton one was my fave in the 80s.
Yes.
Like that was nominated for. This is when like the Oscar couldn't quite get its mitts around pop songs winning the Oscar. They'll nominate it like that, and oh my god, like I'm going to segue. That's my segue into mine. And there was another one also nominated for an Academy Award that didn't win because it was just too dang good for the Academy, and that is the Back to the Future soundtrack.
Yeah.
And yes, on this soundtrack, this is track heavy. This is not like just that song and then the rest is score. Oh no, my friends. Let me tell you. So, not only do you have Huey Lewis's Oscar-nominated "Power of Love," should have won, but you've got the other song "Back in Time." Got to get back in time, right? That one, Heaven is One Step Away. You got Night Train, Earth Angel. Remember when the it's y'all cousin Marvin Berry, and they're singing Earth Angel. And then of course my literally like third favorite track on here is the one where it's Johnny Be Good that Michael J. Fox lip syncs to, but the people they got singing that, like that artist, let's see, is it on? It's not on the thing here. Let's see. It is. Oh, this is clever. On the CD, it's called "Performed by Marty McFly with the Starlighters." So they don't even tell you who the ghost artist is, but it sounded like that's how Michael could have sang, and there was such great energy. And I mean, look, I'm a huge Huey Lewis fan, and I love Back to the Future. And while not being a John Williams score, this is probably one of the best scores ever that's not John Williams, and it's by Alan Silvestri. That Back to the Future score is so pitch perfect, like
iconic.
It's iconic, yeah. I
Very
mean,
good.
it literally is like you could toss it into any John Williams like top 10 and it would fit perfectly as a killer track. So the fact that that's also tossed in here intermittently is a nice little bonus. But yeah, man, Back to the Future. It brings, Tony, we love this film. It just brings back all the memories of seeing it, even it might be 20 something 30 years ago, right, Tony?
Minute details like what time was it on the clock or that kind of stuff. It's hard to remember. But
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so there you go. Back to the Future. Just love that soundtrack. So good. Yeah. And we got to see that. And that's another memory connected to that film as well. I worked at the theater. That was one of my very first jobs was, Fish, right? Working at the theaters and you get to see movies for free. And then the night before that came out, all the employees met at midnight, Thursday night. And we just played it, not knowing what it was. It was just a Michael J. Fox movie. Oh, I was just blown away. I'm like, God, this movie was so funny. I hope people love it.
I worked at the theater and the video store, both. So I think that might be
at the same time.
At a theater.
No,
I was at the theater first, and then the video stores after that.
Yeah, I worked all the time. I worked all.
Look at you, you're a beast. That's why you can afford all these movies. All that money saved up.
Yeah, right.
I've only worked at a theater, not a video store, unfortunately.
Yeah, those days are gone.
Maybe not.
Right?
Maybe not. That's right. Maybe research.
What do you know, Nadia? What do you know?
I know Blockbuster might open up.
You think?
Maybe.
But you're getting Mike really excited.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna go nuts. Yeah. Get your freeze frame off. Mike's like,
I know. I got to get on my Blockbuster gear now.
Right. So, Mike, I thought of you the other day. I bought a Blockbuster late. Like, it's right in front of me. Check it out. Oh, hang on. Oh, it's hooked on the desk. Oh, I'm never gonna get it. There we go. Look at that.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Lanyard there.
Yeah, I need a lanyard. I don't have a lanyard
And
yet.
look, it's even got like the VHS on it.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Very cool.
Mike, you need one of those. Mega Mike, the manager.
And I just got that on Amazon because I just wanted a piece of Blockbuster. It's only $10. Yeah, so if you need it, go get you one.
Yeah, it's crazy. As I worked at a Blockbuster Music, I wish I still had my lanyard from that. But yeah, that's cool.
Does anybody still have their Blockbuster card?
I have my Hollywood video card.
Hollywood video too.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Love that.
Because mine was originally a Blockbuster, and then it turned into a Hollywood video.
Oh.
That was a lot of the first jobs down here.
Right.
Was Hollywood Video or Suncoast. My age is showing.
Suncoast. Overpriced VHSs.
Yep.
Who remembers the good time videos that were on the LP speed so that they use less tape? Remember that?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. So some movies were on LP, if you remember that.
I worked at
Tony.
Sam Goody for a little bit, and Sam Goody had one of those in the back, but it was not to be used. It wasn't used. But we all kind of ever wondered what it was. We didn't know until like years later. But Sam Goody had one too, hidden in the back.
Yeah, Sam Goody. That was another one. All right, let's see. Fish, you feeling it? You feeling good? You feeling ready?
Yeah.
I can't believe we're here.
Oh man,
for
okay.
round 5.
Oh, I'm torn. But
You're already torn. Come on.
right. Yeah, Natalie Imbruglia.
Nice.
Man, that's going to be stuck in my head now, Huck. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Oh my God.
It didn't take much, just that little line. And it's there.
Look, I'm expecting all of you. Tony, I'm waiting. You're saving something. I know some little 2 notes is coming out. Mike, you're going to be like, I don't know. Something's coming.
Oh yeah,
right?
this is the singing
right?
round, right? Everybody's singing on
round.
this one.
That's
All
when
right.
we get to the honorable mention. You have to sing a note from one of your honorable mentions.
Oh, I got a whole song I can sing.
Nice. All right, Fish.
All right.
Bring us home, baby.
All right. This soundtrack is fantastic. As every single soundtrack we featured has been. But I don't know a lot of people talk about this soundtrack much, but it's the soundtrack for City of Angels.
Oh my God.
I love this movie, and the soundtrack is fantastic. Oh my God, so many great tracks on here. We've got Angel by Sarah McLachlan. You've got Red House by Jimi Hendrix. You've got Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. You've got Feel in Love by Paula Cole. Mama, You Got a Daughter, John Lee Hooker, and my favorite track on here by Alanis Morissette, Uninvited. Oh my God. Uninvited. When I saw her sing this live, oh my God, I got goosebumps. So good. Uninvited. My favorite track on here, but yes, definitely check this soundtrack out. Wonderful.
Caprice, are we a little excited over there?
Yeah.
It's like choices were made tonight, so certain things weren't picked. Fish, I'm not even lying to you. All last week, because I was going through my movies, I had that on repeat for like 3 days. I was listening to Alanis Morissette and Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls for 3 days. And I was like, should it be in my list? Should I not be in my list? So, like I said, choices were made. And I was like, I hope to God somebody pulls this movie. And I'm so glad it was you.
Thank you. Yeah, that Paula Cole song is very underrated. Feel in Love. It's so sexy, so sensual. It's so good. So good. Definitely. City of Angels. It's Nicolas Cage and Meg Ryan.
Oh, you sold me on that. Yeah.
I love that.
And what was your favorite track on that, Fish?
Alanis Morissette's Uninvited. It's piano. It's heavy. It's so good.
Now, Capri, since you were jamming to that so much, what kept it off your list?
Other choices were made.
Other choices were made. I love it. And because you were unagi with Fish, like, oh, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it.
No, it wasn't one of those things where it was like Scream, because I knew somebody was gonna pick that. That's kind of. I'm surprised that wasn't actually pulled the first time. But for some reason I just knew that was gonna be pulled. I had it in the list. I had it in the pile, but then I was kind of like, I Know What You Did Last Summer sticks with me a little bit more. So I Know What You Did Last Summer replaced City of Angels. Like I said, decisions had to be made.
Hey, you know what? That's a great choice to pick over it, because I love that soundtrack too. I Know What You Did Last Summer is a fantastic soundtrack as well. Yeah, I was up in the air about a lot of this stuff too. So
it was a rough go, but I'm glad it got pulled anyway.
It was a rough go. Well, we're about to see how rough it was as you got to your number one. Let's see what you got.
My number one. So my number one is another one of my guilty pleasures. It's another one of my guilty pleasure comedy movies. So the one I'm pulling is Little Nicky.
Oh, nice.
This soundtrack had everything. It had POD, it had Incubus, it had Deftones, it had Cypress Hill, Power Man 5000, Linkin Park, Filter. It had everything. And it was kind of like, at the time, Adam Sandler was like, all right, let's just pick the number ones from every single one of these bands and just throw it in the movie, and it's going to work. And it did. And you know, like, when I picked this, I really sat and thought about it, and it's like, I really don't think there's an Adam Sandler movie that has a bad soundtrack. And really going and thinking about it, Wedding Singer was awesome. Little Nicky was awesome. Great. Billy Madison had a great soundtrack too. So did Happy Gilmore. Grown Ups even had a good soundtrack. This one just happens to be my favorite, but I don't think there's an Adam Sandler movie soundtrack that like sucks. And the same goes with Ben Stiller movies. All of his movies have amazing soundtracks too. But yeah, this one was, I was in high school when this came out, and me and all my friends actually snuck into the movie theater because we were bad kids. And we went and we watched this in the theater. And I remember maybe 2 days later, all of us had the soundtrack with us while we were out skateboarding or rollerblading, whatever it was that we were doing, being bad kids. So yes, my final pull is Little Nicky.
Nice. Now I have to ask then, the soundtrack or the movie, which is better? Oh, she's thinking. So you like the movie then, clearly.
I do like the movie. Like,
Oh.
it's a guilty pleasure comedy for me. And I feel like they go hand in hand with each other and they both complement each other very well. Every song that is picked fits the scene that it's in to a T, pretty much. Even the beginning opening title, it kind of set the mood for the movie. It was fast, it was in your face, it was hard. You know, for the lovey-dovey scenes, you had songs like, you know, Pardon Me by Incubus, and you had Filter by, and every song in that movie just fit the scene that it was meant to.
Yeah.
And
So when you hear those songs, do you think about the movie?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially POD's cover of School of Hard Knocks or Filter, especially Filter, but the one that sticks with me the most is probably Incubus, Pardon Me. Whenever I hear that song, I think about Adam Sandler going up to go see her after he feels like he's offended her. Like, it was the beginning kind of their little courtship. So whenever I hear the beginning, you know, the little thingy mix of it, I just think about that scene and it just puts a smile on my face. But yeah, I have to, like, if somebody asks me that, I have to say both, because this is the one time where it's like, I can't say that I like the score more because the score kind of made the movie for me. So the movie and the score go hand in hand.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. And so that was your favorite song, though?
My favorite song? Man, it's hard. That's a hard one.
All of them.
Soundtrack fits all of them. There's two POD songs on there. Like I said, Incubus, Pardon Me is on there. You got Deftones, Change. You got Power Man 5000 on there. Linkin Park is on there as well. So it's really hard to pick like a favorite off this particular album. But if I had a gun to my head, I'd probably say Incubus, Pardon Me.
Very good. Yeah, it's tough when you got a soundtrack that's just so stacked with tunes. You can't. That's like, you know, I was gonna let, when we got to the end, we are gonna let everybody go back and hit their first soundtrack, since we didn't give off our favorite tracks on those. Because yeah, that's hard sometimes when they're.
It's a rough one with Little Nicky and Romeo and Juliet. For me, that's really rough because the two go hand in hand for me. So.
Or you'll have a whole round to pick your Romeo and Juliet track.
I know. I'm like, let me just pull this.
All right, Mike, you've done it. You're here. You're number one.
Yes, a song that makes me definitely think of the movie Mortal Kombat. Do do do.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat. Yes. This movie is amazing, of course, but you get all the awesome electronic music with it. And I don't even like electronic music, but you pair it with Mortal Kombat, one of the greatest things of all time. It just makes all the music great in the movie. So, of course, favorite track is the Mortal Kombat theme song of the movie. It's so iconic. Don't know why they didn't use it in the new movie. Makes no sense, but yeah.
I'm wearing the shirt too.
Oh, of course. I thought it was a giveaway that everybody knew was going to be my
his hat.
pick, but, you know. I know I haven't had two, but then I thought that would have been way too giving it away if I wore the hat as well. But,
that has a juke joint Jezebel on there. Is that on that soundtrack, Mike?
Probably. I don't know. I'm terrible for music, so you guys. I just
anyway, I think I remember loving that soundtrack too.
It's like robot noises, but they say a lot of Mortal Kombat.
Robot noises.
But it's good because it's Mortal Kombat stuff thrown in there. Like,
yeah, I was really big into electronica when that came out. So yeah, that's a great soundtrack. Yeah,
I know. You can use it for parties. You can use it, I don't know, for a fight or something. You use it for
workout.
Workout. There you go.
For a fight.
I don't know. It's martial arts, isn't it?
I think
there you go.
A fist fight.
I mean, see, that's a testament to that soundtrack, Mike. I bought it for the same reason. I'm not an electronic musical kind of guy, but that soundtrack is so fantastic. That's what I say when say that the new Mortal Kombat was just boring to
Oh
me. It
gosh.
didn't have any charm. It didn't have that music. It didn't have,
How did they miss out on the music?
I mean, it
How
should be
did
like
they
James
do
Bond. Like
that?
they should use
Ugh.
that theme every time.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
It was already done for them. It was already
Right.
done.
Exactly.
I mean, it has such energy to that song, and another great thing that I love about that soundtrack are the sound bites. Before each track, there's a sound. So you'll have Shang Tsung going, talking about Mortal Kombat, flawless victory.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 and I love when soundtracks can incorporate some dialogue like that. That's a very a rare thing for soundtracks to do that, but I love when that happens. So all right, favorite song off that? Is it just the Mortal
theme song,
Kombat?
yeah, there you go. That's the best one.
Come on, let's hear it again, Mike. Go for it. Let's hear it.
Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat.
Flawless singing.
I didn't know if I was watching the movie or listening to Mike.
It's like he hit play on the movie. That was awesome. Wait,
Oh yeah, no, that song I was talking about, Joint Jezebel by KMFDM. That's they're the ones who that's a great song on that soundtrack too.
Wow. Good pick. Not expected, but man, good pick.
Not expected. I was wearing the shirt.
Well, I mean, sometimes,
If he had the hat
I got
on-
Top Gun, but I didn't pull Top Gun.
If he had the hat on, though, it would have been a good one.
Yeah.
That's right. And what you got there, Nadia? Are you wearing a T-shirt? Are you telling us by T-shirt?
No.
What do you got?
Has nothing to do with my movie.
Oh.
So this coincidentally is my favorite movie of all time.
Ooh.
And I'm not being biased. It's got a good soundtrack. It's overall Death Sentence.
Oh yeah.
It's got an overall amazing music you've never heard anywhere before. Amazing vocals. You got All Right by Pilot Speed, The Prodigal Son by Black Angels, Hey Joe by Billy Roberts, Young Men Dead by Black Angels. Like, it's just got a mix of beautifully orchestral, if that's a word, music. It puts you in the movie with you, if that makes sense. Like, you feel like you're in the movie with Kevin Bacon when he's feeling sad about his son dying. That's not a plot twist. That's not a spoiler. It's in the description. But it's just such an amazing movie with such an amazing soundtrack. I love it.
That's beautiful. See, this is why I love this. I haven't even seen that film. So yeah, because I don't think, even as a Kevin Bacon film, I think that's an under the radar title.
It is a little bit under the radar
because no one really, it's not Footloose, it's not, all the other things that he's known for.
Right.
And I love that. It's like when in Volume 1, Garrett picked Teen Wolf as his favorite one. I was like, but again, it's where you fit in your life and when a soundtrack comes out. That's why these things speak to us. And I love that is your number one. Like, I'm completely oblivious to it. I've never heard it, don't even know it, but yet you love it and it's your number one. And I'm gonna have to give that movie a look just for that. I mean, that's
anybody who's seen that movie just knows that when you listen to that music, it just draws you in. It's perfect.
Yeah, I watched that for the first time just recently, like a month or two ago. So I really enjoyed it. I really did. I'll have to go back and watch it again and listen to the music because I was more focused on what was going on screen than.
Yeah.
The Star is Born soundtrack does that to me too. When I listen to it, I get pulled into that movie every time. Did you guys know? See, I'm also the person, I didn't know the story of A Star is Born because I had never seen the other versions. Did anyone else see this movie not knowing what was going to happen? First of all, has everybody seen it?
I've seen it.
Okay, good. Everyone on here has seen it. And I won't really give it away. I just want you guys to know that you've seen it. But it was just so emotional. And then when I hear all those songs leading up to the end of the film, it's just, oh my God. And Lady Gaga, when she sings that song live, it's like, and it's not just Shallow. Shallow's great, but there's, so many other fantastic things on there. So yeah, love soundtracks. Tony, take us home, baby.
Okay. So I did the 80s, I did the 90s, I did a biopic. So now I'm going to go with animation and The Lion King.
Oh,
Lion King. So I wasn't a kid when the Lion King came out, but my kids were kids, and all these Disney hits. I love these Disney. I love any kind of Disney type of soundtrack because really, if you think about it, the animation is great, but the Disney soundtracks are probably some of the best. You know, if you listen to a soundtrack from the Disney film, it definitely takes you back to your childhood or your kid's childhood or whatever. But the Lion King is my favorite, probably out of all the soundtracks. I just can't wait to be king. Man, I can't see again.
Yeah,
I can see these though.
There you go.
Hakuna Matata. Everybody knows Hakuna Matata.
It means no worries for the rest of your days.
There we go. All right, we
It's
got
no
it.
problem free.
Philosophy.
Hakuna Matata. We were pitch perfect. Well done, guys.
Circle of Life is another good one. But yeah, so Disney, Lion King.
love it.
That was the first movie I ever watched.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm. My first birthday cake and all that.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And another thing too, Tony, by picking that, it's also when you heard a soundtrack. So it's odd enough we brought this up earlier, but when I worked on Steel Frontier, that film I did, that soundtrack came out, and it was like an hour drive to the set each time, and it was on cassette, y'all. I bought the cassette of that, and I played that all the time, and I was in love with that soundtrack. So for me, not only is it a great movie, but when I hear Circle of Life, I am back on the set of that movie. So that's another thing that songs do, right? Songs put you in places, not just the movie, but it can literally do like that thing to me. So has there been any soundtrack that's done that for you guys? Like maybe it was a breakup, or maybe it was you dating somebody, or
Yeah, I think everything that I pulled tonight so far, other than Selena, the other ones put me back to that time period of when I watched the film. So yeah, all of those evoke those kind of memories.
And what's your favorite track on that one, Tony?
Hakuna Matata, probably.
It's so good.
Even though A Circle of Life is really big and extravagant, but
right.
Hakuna Matata. I love Pumbaa and Timon.
It means no worries.
Right, exactly.
Catchy beat.
It is catchy. You want to sing it with your friend. And Nadia, I missed you on your favorite song of yours. What was your favorite pick on that one?
Definitely It's All Right by Pilot Speed. It's a beautiful song.
Nice. Caveman's calling me out, and he says my cassette was not rewound on the lanyard. He's right.
He's right there.
I'm just saying.
Rewind.
I bought it from the store.
Rewind.
So I blame the store for not rewinding that. It wasn't me. It was given to me on rewind. Good catch. I love that I caught that.
Yeah, good eyes.
Yeah, right. All right. So my last pick, my number one pick, is another, and it's interesting, Mike, that you picked something with dialogue tracks on yours, because my pick also has dialogue tracks, and that is Pulp Fiction.
Nice.
Pulp Fiction. This is very much like Guardians. The soundtrack was so incredible. The Miserlou song. The hey. Like it starts like the soundtrack. Even the way I assume Quinn probably put it together that way. The way the soundtrack was assembled, right, in that order, to start off with that bang, and it starts off with Pumpkin and Honey Bunny like in the diner, and she's like, "Don't any of you move!" And I'm like, "Oh my God, Amanda Plummer is psycho!" Right in the song. And then you got Sam Jackson and Travolta's like, "You ever get a Royale with cheese? Royale with cheese, what's that?" And they just do the whole Royale with cheese thing. And so I love that during this soundtrack, you get a little bit of a song break to get some of those dialogue tracks in there and that kind of thing really sucks you in to remembering the movie. So same thing with like Mortal Kombat. When I hear Shang Tsung doing that, I just picture Cary Tagawa, dropping those lines in the movie. But what else you got? You got some Cool in the Gang, Jungle Boogie, with the boogie, right? Let's Stay Together, Al Green. Let's see. Son of a Preacher Man. Oh my God, that's so
Oh,
good.
Dusty
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 Springfield.
Springfield, fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. You Can Never Tell by Chuck Berry. Flowers on the Wall, Statler Brothers, and yeah, I mean, just so many really good things. And this was another one I would just play a lot of in this film. It's right up there in my top 5 Tarantino flicks. So, yeah, man, Pulp Fiction.
Fantastic pick. I hate that they left that Ricky Nelson song when they're walking into Jackrabbit Slims. That's not available on that soundtrack. I hate that, but yeah, that's one of my favorite songs in that movie. So.
Yeah,
that's a
I
bummer.
mean, that's another thing when you got such a long movie with so many tracks, you can only fit 80 minutes on a CD or something. So,
right.
That's when you need a volume 2, right? Like
Exactly.
like your Footloose, you need a volume 2, or at the very least, the digital versions of the album. Sometimes you get more tracks than that. Like I got the digital version of A Star Is Born, and I got way more tracks than if I got the CD. So that was nice.
Love that pick.
I always go between.
I think I'll go Son of a Preacher Man would be my favorite song on this.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that, y'all. All right. Here, let's go back. We'll catch everybody's. Go back to your very first pick. All right, since I have this in my hand. Brandy. I loved Brandy on here. It was this kind of the standout track for me. And I love when it was used in the film as well. So there's so many good ones, but that one, it just nudges everything out a tad. And whoever's ready, you can say if you found it and picked it, Ray, just go for it.
Yeah, I'm Footloose. Footloose is number 1 on here, whatever. But I love "I'm Free" by Kenny Loggins on here. When they're getting the place set up for the party at the end, getting everything ready, decorated. "I'm Free." I love that song. That's my favorite one on here.
Nice.
Mine would be "Don't Fear the Reaper."
Oh, that's such a good song.
Freaking love that song.
Oh, yeah.
Danger Zone, Danger Zone.
Heck yeah.
Let's hear it, Tony. Gonna get you. No? Okay. He's like he was singing it in his mind, and it sounded awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have been muted. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah.
We all heard it, and it was
happens,
beautiful.
Tony. It happens. Right when you're ready to go, and you
got a great
froze too
voice.
because your mouth was frozen. So.
I was on pitch and everything. I think my camera must have froze.
Dang it! Stupid internet connection. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Whenever you feel it coming on again, Tony, let us know. Caprice or Mike?
I'm gonna go. God, it sucks. I'm gonna go "Loveful" by the Cardigans. I'm gonna say that one sticks out the most. But there's, like I said, there's so many that stick out. Yeah, "Loveful" by the Cardigans, I would have to say would be my favorite. It's the most catchy one. But if we're gonna talk beautiful songs, we're gonna go "Talk Show Host" by Radiohead. That one is the ending credit song. Love that song. But yeah, "Loveful" the Cardigans. Fish actually had it in his.
Yeah, Sunflower. Post Malone, Sway Lee. So, yeah. Did
you see the new Spider-Verse, Mike?
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's magical. Yeah. It is
magical.
How does the soundtrack stack up?
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, best part of the movie for sure.
Best part.
It doesn't have that Sunflower song though, but all the songs are good in it. They're all good choices. Not as iconic as Sunflower, but still pretty good.
And have you already bought the soundtrack for it?
No, I don't buy soundtracks.
You don't buy soundtracks, and you have all those in your hand.
Yeah,
well, I have the movies.
He watches the movies.
I have
oh,
movies.
that's true. He was just flashing the movies up.
The records and whatnot. But I go to YouTube, look for the soundtrack, and just.
All right. That's interesting. All right, let's talk about that for a second. So, if you don't buy soundtracks and you love these soundtracks, how do you consume the soundtrack? Is it just track by track on YouTube and you enjoy video?
Yeah, you just type into YouTube the soundtrack for the movie and then hit the shuffle playlist and just.
Because I do know they have tracks on there as well, like not even just music. They just have just the audio tracks. So Yeah. So that's how you roll, huh?
Yeah. Is that
No,
not
you-
right? I feel like you're looking at me like I'm bootlegging over here.
Yeah. hey, there's
Really
nothing
does,
wrong with
okay?
bootlegs.
Stop
You
really
in a
does
safe
suck.
space, baby. You can bootleg all you want. It's a bootleg happy house.
It is. It is. It is.
No, I just love that, Mike, because I feel like there's other people out there that also, because look, in this day and age, I mean, I can't even tell you the last thing I bought was actually, Guardians 3, but it's a long span in between soundtracks when I buy stuff. I bought, prior to that, the last one was Top Gun Maverick. So I don't even get nearly as much, like it really has to sing to me.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
You know,
To go out, grab
and
that.
the cars and trucks nowadays, though, they don't even have CD players in it anymore.
They don't.
So
Right,
you have to have some kind of device. My old iPod. But if you don't have some kind of digital device to play these things, so my brother went out because he loves his. I mean, he's got a big CD collection. He went and bought a car just because it had a CD player.
Car for the CD
I'm thinking,
player.
you can just buy the CD player to put in a car.
Mine came with a CD player.
Yes.
Aw.
Well,
See, mine's old enough to still have a CD player in it too.
Yeah, we have 2 cars now, and the new one I just bought, nothing. It's all digital, and you cannot put a CD player. Like it's all like a digital interface. But the other car we have has CDs. So if we want to go on a road trip and play CDs, we have to take the other car.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm like, I want to get those tracks onto something like your iPod there, Tony, and get them digitally. Because I mean, these are good soundtracks, and I want to be able to play them in my new car.
Yeah, this is an 80 gigabyte iPod.
I had that. Yeah.
Tony with the
had
old
that one
school.
too.
I love it.
I had that just to watch movies on it.
Yeah, and I'll just plug it into
I
my
would do that
computer
too.
and just shuffle.
The
And
movie's like this big.
Yeah, right.
But it worked, right? I mean, that
I was
that
working out
the
or
first
whatever.
tiny screen.
Yeah.
Now, Tony, I love that you have that there. Why is it on hand? Were you like,
if I'm working on the weekends down here in the basement, I'll just plug this in and shuffle every 80 gigs. There's so much on here.
I love it. So you make me want to go resurrect mine. I have it in the office. It's probably deader than a doornail, but I have to plug it in, charge it up.
CPR.
Right. It's like, oh, it's all frayed. The charge is all bent.
My wife had the little skinny turquoise.
Yeah.
Nano.
Yeah. The little bitty.
There's one like size of like, I don't know, a stamp.
With no screen.
the
no
shuffle?
screen on it,
The
it's like-
shuffles, yeah.
Shuffles were so small you could eat it.
Did you?
Break like just as easy.
All right, well, now we're gonna do a little pass for you guys. So, Tony, I feel were you the only one who had stuff stolen from you today? I think so.
Yeah. So I did, but I had backup.
Of course you did. You're a pro, man. Now, because of that, we're gonna do like a little honorable mention round, and we're gonna go backwards. And Tony, we're gonna let you go first.
Well, some of these were mentioned in Volume 1, but I wanted to show my love for Purple Rain.
Oh, thank you. Love that.
Yes, and of course, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Nice.
And I already showed my Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I love that he's pulling out vinyls.
Oh yeah.
And another biopic pick that I really love. I like all kinds of music, but Coal Miner's Daughter, Loretta Lynn. Sissy Spacek did all the singing, and she sounded perfect as Loretta Lynn. And then the last one would be in Beauty and the Beast. The soundtrack for Beauty and the Beast is excellent.
Oh, 2 animations. Nice.
Good picks.
Thanks.
Nadia, we'll just keep going down the horn there. What you got on your honorable mentions?
I got 3. I got Return to the Living Dead. I got I got Mean Girls, and I got Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh
yeah, that's a good one.
I love those soundtracks.
Now, what we might as well do it on the honorable mentions. What would be your favorite on Mrs. Doubtfire? Pick one of the CDs you pulled, and then pick one track. That way you don't have to do it all three. And Tony will come back to you on that too.
I don't know the song for Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't know the name, but it was like ooh. Bam.
Nice.
Walk like a man. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Walk Like a Man. Yeah,
Is that the name?
yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, I like that one. This
That's a
one would
fun
be the punk rock zombies. I forgot the name when they're like rising out of the grave.
Yep.
Mean Girls. Shit, I don't even know. I don't remember. I think it's also What I Like About You. I think they play that song here. I remember loving it.
Oh, Mean Girls. Yeah.
Yeah. To that.
Tony, what about some of your honorable mention tracks?
Beauty and the
there?
Beast. Beauty and the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. That's a great one.
Can't go
And
wrong.
Coal Miner's Daughter from Coal Miner's Daughter.
I like how you go with the heavies. Stick with the go-tos.
Right. No, but honestly, those would be the two from those two.
Nice. Mike?
Purple Rain from Purple Rain.
Oh, Purple Rain. Dude, so I got to say, Purple Rain is one of my top 3 songs of all time.
Yeah,
it's
it's great.
so that the composition and Prince's vocals on that song are like pitch perfect. They're so good.
I love watching interviews with Prince back in the day. He has such an attitude. I love the way
he does.
Yeah.
It's sass. It's sass. It's
total sass, right? And he's so cool, man.
Oh yeah.
Like he never seems to lose his cool.
No. He's kind of like Tony. Savage,
like
but
Tony.
you know.
Cool as a cucumber, man.
Right?
Give us a little ow. Go ahead, Tony.
Oh, it was muted again. I'm sorry.
Just move your mouth. Ready? 1, 2, 3. No, not gonna play along. Okay.
Camera froze.
Oh, camera froze again. All right, it's all good. I'll edit this and I'll do a little trickery with your photo. It'll work. Mike, what you got?
Yeah, I can definitely do some singing on these ones. So if anybody wants to sing, let me know. But you know what? I love when movies have those sing-along versions to it. Did any of you guys like sing along to songs when you played the movie?
Yeah.
I would sing along to this one all the time when I was a kid. It's just an all-time favorite. And you know, Scotty doesn't know I'm going to choose this one, and that's Euro Trip.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, I would sing along to this all the time. I just loved it. This movie is hilarious, though. You guys know the song, right? Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me do it in my van every Sunday. She tells him she's in church, but she doesn't go. Still, she's on her knees, and Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Oh, don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know. There you go.
Woo!
Yeah.
You're gonna get copywriting.
I know, right?
Well, you
That's how
just
good it
dinged the
was.
video because you were so spot on.
I know, right? And then of course, Mystery Men, you gotta have a Smash Mouth, right? With All Star, get your game on. All that glitter is gold.
Oh, so good.
Star, la la la, yeah, something like that. And then I know Rocky was mentioned a lot, but you got to talk about the Creed franchise as well. So all the Creed movies have great soundtracks as well. And then of course, 8 Mile, you got to have that Eminem music, right?
Yeah,
that gets you pumped up for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then, like I said, Rocky movies were mentioned, but Rocky 4 is the best with Hearts on Fire, Strong Desire, Going Higher. Yeah. That's all the singing you get for tonight.
I mean, that's good stuff. That's
you got to pay to see the rest.
Mike, you ended
now you got to make a soundtrack of that. Megan, Mike, the music man.
Yeah, they'll be
right there. Top hit. Yeah.
Yeah. You just put Matt Damon to show up there.
Caprice, what you got? Let's hear you.
Okay, so I have 4. So one of them is called Party Monster. This is a really great movie, amazing soundtrack. It's a 80s Club Kids soundtrack, all club hits, very fun soundtrack.
Is that wait, hold that up. Is that Joan Cusack? Who's in that?
No, that's Macaulay Culkin and Seth Green.
Oh my God, Macaulay. Okay, so wait, now I'm gonna shrink the screen and like at that, yeah, okay, it looked like Joan Cusack.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad. It's Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
The next one is Airheads. I love this soundtrack.
Excellent.
It's super fun. You got Van Halen, House of Pain, White Zombie, and of course you've got the Ramones. But you also have the Lone Rangers, and how can you not love the Lone Rangers? My third one I'm surprised wasn't pulled yet. But Night at the Roxbury.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
This soundtrack didn't go away for years. For years. This was super fun and my last one is actually one of my favorite movies, but my sister has the copy of my movie and my soundtrack is missing at the moment. But it's for a movie called SLC Punk.
Oh, very good.
Absolutely love that soundtrack. Like I've said before, it's one of my favorite movies. And yeah, I wish I had it here, but I don't. So yeah, those are my choices.
And did you
Fantastic.
have
Night at the Roxbury. I completely forgot about that one when I was thinking of stuff. But yeah.
Now, did you pick? Is your favorite track off that the main one? Caprice, what's your favorite track off Night at the Roxbury? Is it like "What Is Love" or is it something else?
No.
Right doing the head.
Hurt me.
What is love?
Don't hurt me.
Baby,
No
don't
more.
hurt me. No
It would
more.
probably be.
Come on, you can bump your head, Tony. You don't have to sing.
What Is Love is probably one of my favorite ones. That's just the one that just gets stuck in my head the fastest. It's just like, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. No more. And it's just the way they do their head bob to it. It's pretty iconic in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, this whole song has got just a bunch of a bunch of club hits in here. I'm sure if I was old enough in the 90s, if I was going to the nightclubs, this is all I would hear. Pretty much. I'm sure you can vouch for that. Like, there's still songs that when people hear it off that soundtrack, that's all they do is the thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's never going to go away. You're always going to think about that. So
that's what I think about when I hear that title.
Right?
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry, I missed it. What do you think about Tony? What is it?
What y'all were doing?
Well, I was frozen. My screen froze. I didn't see it. Wait, what was it?
Is your neck okay, Tony?
Yeah, it's fine.
But did it move just a little bit like this?
It did it.
Come on, Tony, just a little bit. Everybody start moving their hands. Let's see if you're able to get Tony's head to wiggle.
Tony's head don't wiggle.
Don't hurt me.
All right. Now, Fish, your little man of honor tonight. I'm going to come back to you because I want to end on you. Okay. I want to give you that little distinction. All right. I'm just going to throw up some I threw up last time because I did them as honorable mentions. I wanted to sneak them in, but I'm going to show them again as honorable mentions. But The Big Chill is another one of those fantastic ensemble things of just timepieces, oh my God, Prince way too small, so I can't tell you my favorite one. I'll just go Unchained Melody, I think, is on there. I can't quite remember. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, nice.
And I absolutely love it's the Jackson Brown song, Somebody's Baby. She is somebody, all right. Love that song. And of course, Mike, there it is. The whole Rocky Saga soundtrack. It don't just have Hearts on Fire. You got Eye of the Tiger. We got Burning Heart. Hearts on Fire, hey, living in America.
And don't it feel good?
Right. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so those are just those repeats. Now, here's one that I didn't show before, and that is Streets of Fire, little Walter Hill movie. This is another one of those. The movie, if anybody's seen the movie, it's an acquired taste. I think it's, it's like, anybody see The Warriors or this Streets of Fire?
I haven't seen Streets of Fire, but Warriors, yeah.
Yeah, and they call it a rock and roll fable, right? And it's got Michael Pare, it's got Willem Dafoe and Rick Moranis, who plays like this, cheesy little sleazy manager guy, and he's great. And the band that gets up and sings, and Diane Lane is the lead female. And there's 3 tracks. It's actually it's 2 tracks. It's Nowhere Fast and Tonight Is What It Means to Be Young. Those songs are so banging. Like, they have such energy. Caprice, you've seen it. I see you nodding. Yeah, it's like they are so energetic that I was desperate to know who sang that and was hopeful that whoever sang that made an album. Yeah. And it was, I guess, just studio musicians, because they said it's performed by Fire Inc., right? Fire Incorporated. But I searched for the longest time for Fire Inc., and I never saw Fire Inc. ever make an album. So I could just only surmise that that is just the name they put on here. So they could put it next to the track. But they got a track called Sorcerer by Marilyn Martin, who was written by Stevie Nicks. And so if you ever want to hear the original Sorcerer, just look out for Stevie Nicks. I Can Dream. You remember that song? I can dream about you. You don't have to hold me.
If I can't hold you tonight.
Yeah, so that was in here. Super good by Dan Hartman. And Hold That Snake by Ry Cooder. Got a little bit of Ry Cooder. But yeah, so that was super fun. And Fish, you'll probably back me up on this one. The Dick Tracy soundtrack with Madonna. Come on now. Come on now. What can
Breathless
you do?
Mahoney.
Right? Breathless Mahoney, when she's singing the song with 88 keys with, keys, Mandy Patinkin. And then what can
Oh, yeah.
you do?
Fantastic. Oh,
That
my
was
gosh.
such a good song with the two of them together. It's like, yeah, I made a fool of myself when I ran into Mandy Patinkin. I ran up to him. Instead of saying I love Princess Bride or something funny like that, I shook his hand and said, dude, I loved your song and Dick Tracy. You know that song, What Can You Lose? Like I did all that while shaking his hand. He was just desperate to let go of my hand and started running. I was like,
Security.
yeah, that's exactly right. So I thought to myself, okay, so that's the trick. Next time I meet any celebrity, go with the weirdest thing you can thank them for. Like, if you see Michael J. Fox, don't say Back to the Future. Find something like if you did a ketchup commercial, use that.
Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy. Oh, yeah. So there they go. Those are my, so I would pick Tonight Is What It Means to Be Young as my favorite on that. And yeah, I'll just go with the What Can You Lose on that one there. So there you go. All right, Fish, my friend, take us home.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got a few honorable mentions. I'm going to start with one of my favorites of all time, Mermaids. The soundtrack is fantastic. You've got all kinds of great 60s hits on here. Just One Look, Johnny Angel. It's My Party. But my favorite song on here has to be Shoop Shoop with Cher. Does he love me? I want to know. How can I tell if he loves me so? Exactly. So, Mermaids.
Exactly. Nailed it. Copyright hit number 2. Here we go.
Next, Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. This has some great, fantastic disco songs on here. I Will Survive, Gloria Gaynor. I Love the Nightlife, Alicia Bridges. Shake Your Groove Thing, Mamma Mia by ABBA. Take a Letter, Maria. But I think my favorite on here is Finally by CeCe Peniston. Finally, it is happened
to me right in front of my face.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what's your favorite off that?
My favorite off that, Finally, CeCe Peniston. Yeah.
Oh,
it's my
so
favorite
good.
on that. Yeah. Cruel Intentions soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
You got The Verve. You've got Bittersweet Symphony, Placebo. Oh my gosh, why did I blank on this one? I can't even remember who else. But Counting Crows, Colorblind is probably my favorite sound on this soundtrack. So good, so beautiful, fantastic. And then lastly, Charlie's Angels, the original Charlie's Angels with Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu, and Cameron Diaz. And I love this soundtrack. It's got Blink 182. It's got Prodigy, and that's probably my favorite one on this one is Prodigy's Firestarter. So it's a great soundtrack too. It's got some great. Another one who always has fantastic soundtracks, Drew Barrymore movies. So she's a kid of the '80s. She loves the '80s. So anytime she puts a movie together or has a soundtrack with it, it's usually banging, and it's usually banging '80s music.
Yeah, she was in that Home Invasion movie too.
See, Tony, just a silent comedian. Right. Look, I'm telling you, watch ET. It's the best. It's a home invasion movie. Like they're all minding their own business. And they just come storming in looking for some kid.
I'm never gonna look at that movie the same.
It's brutal. It's a brutal thing. Make sure you got a friend with you because it can be traumatic, that scene. I'm just saying. Tony. Awesome, guys. Very cool. So as we wrap this up and you were preparing for this, tell me what was the most what was the most fun about digging for these soundtracks, and maybe what was the most nerve-wracking? If you had anything like you just it's too bad it's only 5, or you wish it was 10. Like what are some of the things that, because I love this process, you know, picking out all these things and looking at the back of the tracks and see which tracks kind of call out. What was happening while you guys were doing this?
I will say it was tough being the volume 2 here, because the volume 1 has such great songs. All those panel members chose such great songs. So as I was going through it, listening to them in the background, I'm like, oh, they chose that. So let me find something different. So that was the struggle for me, at least.
Yeah. And I think mine was having a conversation with my wife, asking where all of our CDs are, because I can't find our CDs.
He knows where the movies are.
I know where the movies are, but the CDs, and I honestly think I put them in a box somewhere, so it's my fault, but I always have to ask her where they're at.
Yeah, I have the CD for Freaky Friday, and I couldn't find it anywhere. But luckily, I went to Goodwill yesterday, and I found it, the DVD, and I'm like, oh, it's perfect. But I do have the VHS somewhere as well. But I think the hardest part was just picking my top 5, and like, at least for me, I put them in order. I made it harder on myself, apparently, but it was just harder. It's hard to pick just 5 because there's so many great songs in different movies, obviously.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think that's what I have the most trouble with too, is like condensing it down to these 5 are, you know, right here. Yeah. They're in here, they're in here, they're in here and in here.
Yeah. You're like, I keep changing it.
I did. And it went between all my honorable mentions and the 5 that I picked. So I was like, oh no, hold on, put it back. Nope, take it out. Yeah. Oh no, yeah. So up until showtime. But I that was probably the hardest thing for me to do. That and trying to go through all this, trying to find my CDs in there.
Wow, look at that.
I've got mine.
Nice.
I saw Ben mentioned it, and I was like, oh, I've got mine sitting on the bed. But yeah, digging through that puppy just in the passenger seat, popping in the CD. Yeah, I love that. But yeah, that was the hardest thing for me to do, was try to get it down.
It's probably why they don't have the CD players in the cars any longer.
Yep. Too many car accidents.
I'm just gonna.
There's no room. No passenger
driving.
Oh yeah, we were pros at like pulling CDs in and out. Just
and then they had the ones on the visor.
On the visor. Yeah. Make it easy. Just look up, or even worse, you put it down in front of your face while you're driving. Just oh yeah. Oh, only blocking your eyes, you know.
I agree with.
Or if you got a bunch of burned ones, you got to flip through them and see which one.
And find your marker to find out what it is.
Yeah,
that's the old texting and driving.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
It was really hard to narrow it down just to 5. I agree with everybody else. That was like the hardest part. But the best part of this, I think everybody can agree with me, is just revisiting all these old soundtracks. And it's like somebody said earlier, I believe it was Huck or Fish, like you remember where you were. So you're getting hit with memories while you're watching these movies or even listening to the soundtracks. And it was just like, wow, like this is why I'm choosing this one. So it made the process a little easier for me. And I saw that Laren had said in the comments, because Laren knows how much I love SLC Punk. He knows that's one of my favorite movies. And he said, I'm surprised that wasn't your first pick. Well, the reason why it wasn't my first pick is because, yes, it is my all-time favorite movie. Do I remember where I was the day that I saw it? Yes. Do I remember the soundtrack backward and front? Yes. But the top 5 for me, those ones were ones that have very severe memories attached with them that I just can't shake. And so these soundtracks are the ones that I hold very dear to my heart. So going back and being able to revisit those was super great for me, because it wasn't just the movie or the soundtrack. It was also remembering things that I haven't thought about like in a long time. So that's why I chose what I chose, Laren. But don't get me wrong, SLC Punk is still one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I like how people who know us are like, hey, I wonder why so-and-so didn't pick this, you know? It's like, yeah, but it is true. It's like it's not that it wasn't considered. It's that there's a lot. And I, Tony, I did like you too. I had 2 boxes in the garage that I went and pulled out just to dig through to let the CDs remind me. Like, you know, because again, I don't even have a CD player in the house. The only CD player I now have is the one in that car. You know, I mean, I do have an old computer that I could slip the disc in and rip it if I need to, but I would never play the CD off of that computer. It's not even in the same room.
Yeah.
So
I
think
still
that's
have, I still have the CD sound system in the other room with the rest of the theater stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also went, you know, I went title by title, not all of them, but trying to get ideas of the ones. But it seems like I always went back to Footloose, Top Gun, She's Having a Baby. So those are the ones that I really wanted.
Okay, so when you say you go title by title, you were walking in there, title by title.
I started, and then that's where it stopped. It's
yeah. You got about halfway. You're like, you know what?
Anything else spoke to me, but nothing else spoke to me.
He was just making sure.
He went on a journey in that basement.
Yeah,
he did.
All right, so stream is over. You get to pick one CD from tonight to put in and kind of reminisce from tonight and what all this did for you. Which one is it? Which one of the little stack that you pulled is gonna like maybe just pop it in and it's gonna do it for you?
It'll be Death Sentence for me.
Yeah.
This one has been talking to me for like a couple days now. Man, I for some reason I just want to hear Paula Cole, Feeling Love. Alanis Morissette. I just want,
Good.
This one's calling to me.
I think I'm gonna put in Back to the Future.
Mortal Kombat, of course.
I know what you did last time.
That's a good pick.
Tony, you going Top Gun?
Yeah.
I love it. That's so good, guys. Thank you so much. You guys have a good time tonight?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This was great. I love this theme and I love seeing what people pick. And I specifically wanted like really distinct personalities. I had a feeling we weren't all going to be on the same page. And interestingly, Fish and Tony were quite on the same page tonight. I did not see that coming at all.
Fish and Tony are pretty much the same person, I think.
Well, we have common music taste, movie taste, and then this just confirmed that we have common music taste too. So
I watched Mermaids last week, and then the 2 weeks before that, me and Fish were talking about She's Having a Baby. So yeah, all kinds of stuff.
So I love that. Yeah. I love that. We can talk about, you know, more than movies. We can talk about music and, you know, different things. So.
And Caprice and Nadia, I feel like you had a little familiarity with each other's picks.
Oh yeah, we're horror girls. Of course.
Yeah, got some horror girls. I think I did that on purpose. I need some of that horror love tonight, and it showed up. I was very happy.
And then I was just on an island over here.
And Mike, no, Mike, you
well, but me and you, Huck, had a couple of the same things. We had Rocky, you know, Guardian.
Yeah, we had Rocky, Guardian. Yeah, so you know, there's two. Yeah, it was perfect placement. You guys are wonderful. All right.
You know, I'm sorry, I was going to say I loved it because Nadia, I never would have thought to, you know, listen to the music in Death Sentence. I was so focused on what was going on screen that like I kind of, you know, tuned out the music. So I will definitely rewatch it. And
yeah, you got to go back and listen.
Time.
Yeah, you got to let the music.
Oh, that's a great one. 4K Lowdown. A Knight's Tale. I don't know why I didn't choose that. Good call.
Well, see, that's the thing is tonight, if you go back and maybe watch the replay of this, I know I tried popping up as many comments as we could. I think we got pretty much all of them. People are throwing up stuff, you know, like that. That would be interesting to go check out. Here's my buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the directors of Steel Frontier is with us tonight, Mr. Joe Hart. Jacobson Hart. Yes, he was my director. Look at that. The director's here tonight. That's amazing. Laren, got to watch the replay for sure. Yeah, Mighty, go check it out. It was an absolute banger, as the kids say. Tony's singing. Yeah, you missed it all.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a highlight. I'm going to get dinged tonight because Tony was so pitch perfect. Yeah. It's all right. All right, my friends, I'm going to go around and let you pitch your channel, tell the world about you, and then we can sign off. Fish, take it away.
Thank you very much for having me on here and doing a volume 2 because I had an idea and somebody was like, I think Hook did that already. And I'm like, oh, dang it. And then I reached out and you decided to do a volume 2, which I'm very thankful for because I love music and I love movies and soundtracks are a great combo with this. You can find me at fish underscore the film collector on YouTube and Instagram. I've got a new video for my Have You Heard Of probably coming out tomorrow. I'm featuring LGBTQ movies this month, so please check that out because I've hopefully got some forgotten gems. So there's that. I'm also doing huntings and hauls on the channel, so come check me out. Huck, thank you again very much for having this wonderful panel put together and this great show.
Thank you. You're a pleasure, Fish. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Caprice.
Well, as everybody knows, my name's Caprice, aka Draculina Horror. You can find me on Instagram and on YouTube underneath the same name, Draculina Horror. I've got some things coming up next week, finally. I've got my most disturbing movie series coming out next Monday. The video will be uploaded, and that'll be a first of 5. So I'm starting with chapter 1, which is going to be found footage. So I'm finally looking forward to uploading that. I also have some live streams coming up with some very special people that'll be announced coming up this upcoming week. And so, yeah, if you want to see me on my adventures, hit me up on my Instagram or my YouTube. See you later, my darling.
Oh, terrific. And if you want to see her kick some butt and some trivia, check out the one she was on. She was amazing.
Yeah, that was a big one.
She fought like a tigress.
2 points.
Right. I know. Mega Mike.
Hello, everyone. For those that don't know me, Mega Mike the Movie Man. If you love collecting physical media and you want to stay entertained and up to date on all the physical media latest topics, go ahead, stop by the channel, check out a video. If you like what you see, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. But yes, for my channel, there's always a ton of stuff going on. This weekend is a big, giant streaming weekend for me. Saturday night, we got a Michael Keaton stream, so celebrating all his entire Keaton filmography. So that's going to be really fun. An amazing panel for that. Sunday morning is my Sunday morning news show where I cover the latest movie news topics. So that's always a blast. Sometimes I have some guests show up too. So that's always a fun surprise. And then Sunday night, we got the Collectors Club episode, superhero theme, going to be on my channel. We're going to have Huck. We're going to have Derek. We're going to have Tim. It is going to be a blast. So you definitely want to stop by for all that amazingness. And then once again, just dropping videos every day. So tons of content for you all out there.
Woo! Jam-packed! Mega Mike! Mega channel.
3 streams in 2 days. Let's do it.
You don't need 24
That's why I'm drinking so much caffeine. That's why you guys see me drinking so much caffeine on these streams. I gotta stay awake. I gotta keep it going.
You're getting hyped up.
See if they'll sponsor your channel, man.
I know, right?
Nadia.
Well, I'm Nadia from Horror and More. You can find me here on YouTube and on Instagram as Horror and More. I do collections, tier lists, vlogs, hauls, conspiracy theory, not podcasts, live streams. I do video game live streams where it's just me chilling, playing GTA or whatever I feel like playing. I upload every Wednesday. Today, I just dropped my 1-year update on my DVD horror collection. So you can always check that out. And yeah, if you like it, you can go ahead and subscribe. And thank you, Huck, for having me. This was really fun. And I got to open my mind on like soundtracks of movies because I never, you never really think of that until you go and dig for them. So this was fun. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I think this ends up being a lot of add to cart kind of stuff to know when we do things like this.
I already purchased 2 things during the live stream.
Tony, amazing. That's why you're the goat, baby. All right, Tony, take us home.
Tony Basement Blues. I upload a video every day, so if you want to check out, usually steelbooks, new steelbooks unwrapped. I do have Mega Mike's live stream on Saturday night. Saturday night, right, Mike?
Yeah, Saturday night. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, everyone.
But yeah, thank you, Huck, for letting me be a part of this. I really enjoyed it. I kind of came out of my shell and got to sing those 2 songs.
That was
I love
wonderful.
it.
Yeah, and the dance
Off my
moves.
bed.
Really,
Exactly. So a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I enjoyed it.
I'm just gonna say, guys, if you missed it, I mean, this was a real banger of a night. It was, yeah, right, guys?
The
I mean, we
highlight.
all saw it. We were all here. It was.
You just have to kind of scrub through the replay again and see.
People are gonna be like, "Where is it? Where is it?"
Your view count's gonna go way up.
Yeah, right. Speaking of where we at, as we walk out the door, y'all, we're at 34 likes. You know me, I like the even fives. Click me up to 35. I don't like when we're off the fives. And if you go to 36, you got to go to 40. Let's keep it on those fives. That's how my brain works. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming tonight. It was an absolute pleasure having everybody on tonight. If you're new to my channel, if some of your fans came here because of you, thank you for being here. Check out my channel, hit like and subscribe if you like what you see. Do all kinds of stuff on here. I do live shows every Tuesday morning called The Morning Mug, where we do news and talk to the Q&A with the audience. It's tons of fun. I like to do shows like this every now and then, and trivia. So we just had a killer one last week. Caprice was on that. Mike, in fact, let's see. Everybody's been on. Nadia, we got to get you on one. Yeah. All right. We'll see. You know, if she feels like it, you're welcome. By the way, you are welcome anytime if you feel the need. You know.
No, it was sad face because I've never been on it.
Oh,
well, it's not like it's going anywhere. It'll be a smile because you'll be. I'll put you on the list right now. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out. I hope you had a great time. Thanks to everybody out there that showed up and threw out your suggestions about your favorite soundtracks. It was kind of fun. In fact, here, let's just pop in one last as we're out the door and see if there's any last minute albums that came up. Never had a friend like me. Like Freaky Friday, killer track, Nadia. People give them some shout outs. That'll work. Night's Tale. Oh yeah, we did that one. Joe's here. Okay, I forgot to star that because I thought we were done. Chicken Boy for the win. Thank you, Joe. Joe, we need to get put together a soundtrack for Steel Frontier. Just make one up, right? It's not too late. It's only 20 years later. Maybe more. All right. What a great stream. Awesome. Because you guys are awesome. Look at that. Oh my God. People are still checking in. Good night, everyone. Love it. Night, y'all. Eddie, thanks for being here. 4K Lowdown. All right. That's going to do it. Of course, Holland giving us the final one. Good night. Ladies and gentlemen here tonight as well. Thank you so much. Cannot wait to do the next one. Fish, I hope you're jazzed and you're fired up. I can't wait to do yours. I'm not going to blow that until you're ready for it. We won't spoil that. We'll let you announce that. Until next time, everybody, have a good night. We'll see y'all.
Everyone.
Next one. Bye. Bye. Keep waving.
Keep waving.